Hello and welcome. I'm Knights Angel, and this is Writer's Block. Yeah, this is the pilot to a new concept series I want to do on the channel for writers. Being I am one, amateur at best probably, but it's more or less a discussion thing. Pretty much talking about what makes for good writing, how can tropes and plot devices and all that, and pretty much just giving ideas and sharing them. Any suggestions as to what to do and how to go about it, feel free to drop those in the comments. I'll probably put a link to where you can find some of my own work, and we'll go from there. But anyway, introducing this series, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw a few things out there that most writers would suggest that you have on hand. And and at some point I'll go into those later on. Like binders, and the contents of these two are a previous work I've done that they're really early works, so I really didn't know what I was doing with them. And I really didn't go anywhere with them because I kind of lost interest in that story. And I don't really know how to put it into words. I just kind of lost interest in the story and didn't think of going anywhere with it, so. If you're a traditional writer, as in handwritten works, before transferring them to a computer, you're going to need a lot of notebooks, a lot of binders, and you're going to want to really, really hammer down on getting on your organization. That way you don't put chapters in the wrong place. That's one. Put that over there. Another. Have one of these on hand. Now, I'm not going to specify who to get or where to get it. Use one online. I don't know. I don't care. But a dictionary is your best friend. You can actually... It's a lot... I know it seems weird, but it's actually a lot faster to just flip through this to find a term or to define something. Heck, even spelling. It's a useful tool. It's something to have on hand. Otherwise, if you're like me and you prefer using a computer or a typewriter or what have you, well, a computer would probably be more efficient with that. Either or. I'm not judging. Spell check. It's your friend. Trust me. I use it a lot. But that's because I can't spell. Alright. One of the other things that you're going to need is pretty much like with any other form of art, when you're developing characters and whatnot, you're going to want to use ref sheets. Now, just like anybody who gets a picture of an OC or whatever it is that they're using, Fursona, OC, what have you, you're going to want to use ref sheet, especially with writing, especially if you're going into a longer story, because The longer stories are going to be the more complex. You're going to be going back and forth trying to find things. Having a character ref sheet available will save you a lot of time because you'll have a base description. You'll have a character, you'll have information about them, and whatever you need to add to it, you can add to it as you go. Personal history, background, events, left-handed, right-handed, hair color, what have you. Any descriptive piece you need for a character, put in a ref sheet. And keep that on hand. That way you don't screw up your own continuity. Another thing is, well, going into that, rough drafts, like for any work, like song lyrics, which I have done several of. It's okay to actually have some artwork available. Like, it does actually help to have artwork with some of it, because that gives you something to play with. Like, you can see how a setting would work or how to describe a setting because you're, well, looking at it. Also gives you an idea of how a character's body type would be and how they can, what limitations they have in their movement and all sorts of things. But that's just some little stuff. I mean, most people probably already use that. Or most of you probably do, if you're a writer. Like I said, you're going to need a lot of supplies. Like, one of the smaller sketchbooks that you can get, like, wherever. Hobby stores, major retailers, what have you. It's a good place to put massive amounts of information. And you can sit there, flip back and forth through it. Use it for pretty much anything and everything. Always just another one of those things that comes in handy. Again, more artwork, character designs. Even if you're not a really good artist and you can't quite find the words to develop a character, draw them out. Try and draw them out. It'll give you an idea of what they look like or how to describe them, because while you're drawing you'll be thinking of little details that you can add to the character. Again, stockpile of materials, papers, notepads, graph paper, sketching paper. I mean, just little details that you don't even think about. I mean, even just understanding, most basic concept of art. Yeah, this is actually something I did a long time ago, trying to learn how to draw. And I admit, if anybody has ever seen my artwork, it's not the best. It probably will never be that good, but that's where you want to keep things in mind. I mean, you can play with shapes, play with designs, ideas, concepts. It really does actually help you out in the long run when you actually build up things you can work with. And keep in mind how long of a story you're aiming to do, because that will actually help out a lot. Because the longer stories, you're going to need more information. The shorter ones, you're just going to be able to go right through it, or set up a little series, and then pretty much that's going to go into another long thing. So, and we'll get into that another time. This is just a pilot, a quick pilot, a quick experimental video thing. Not much better than anything else I've done, but it's something to work with. If you want to leave your thoughts, suggestions, what have you, go ahead and put them in the description. At some point, maybe even if anybody's wanting to share, and feel free to ask about me sharing things as well, my own work. And we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. If you guys like this idea, we'll keep going with it. I'm not a professional, so this is just kind of group sharing my thoughts, my ideas, my methodology, if you will, and you guys. I mean, I'm wanting to learn how to edit videos and stuff, so learning how to implement your comments and your thoughts, even share some of your work if you want. Nobody has to do anything. Okay? You're free to do whatever you want. I'm not going to pressure anybody to share their work. If you want to, that's one thing. If you don't have to. If you want it. But when we get into that, I'll lay down the ground rules as far as that goes, because I know how people can be. People are worried about criticism and negative responses and all that. But that's something we all have to deal with, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. And as we move on and on, we'll end up getting into discussions about what makes a good story. Why is writing an important thing, especially nowadays? Well, that's kind of obvious. I mean, some of the best videos that you see, the movies, pretty much anything pretty much video games, movies, the videos that you see all over the place, anything that is highly developed, and anything that's highly developed, movies, anime, comic books, manga, all of it. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But pretty much some of the best work is because of the writing. Some, not all. Some actually make it because they have good artwork or good video material, good video equipment to work with, or can do things on the fly. And that's one of those things. It is what it is. But, yeah, this is running pretty long. Alright, but this is just a pilot episode. I may do this once a week. I may end up doing it once a month. I seriously doubt I'm going to do it more often. But let's see what happens. If you guys like it, I'll do another one. And we'll see where it goes. Well, Till then, I'm Knights Angel. This has been the Writer's Block. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Share, what have you. And I hope you have a better day. Peace.